to travel to Saudi Arabia may be put to a stop.
And in sports, the Copperheads hope to stay in the win column against the Mariners. Newswatch starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Maria Manassi.
And I'm Aiden Crowley. Welcome to Newswatch, your source for news impacting southeastern Ohio. AEP Ohio is working to restore 4,500 residents in southeastern Ohio. Athens, Gallia, Meigs, Morgan, Perry, Vinton, and Hawken counties are all experiencing outages. These outages are a result of severe weather and extreme heat. Cooling centers have been opened in several counties, including Vinton and Athens, for those still without power. Morgan County's Emergency Management Agency says they expect power to be fully restored by tomorrow afternoon. And Athens County was expected to have power restored by 3 p.m. today, but it is still unclear if power has been brought back.
Good evening, I'm your weather forecaster, Peyton Simchek. Now looking at Athens currently, we're looking at a high temperature of 94 degrees. Now that's exceedingly higher than what we've been used to recently, so definitely take precaution if you're planning on going outside. And it is some fair weather, so it could definitely be pleasant. And we are looking at a heat index of 103 degrees. Now that's going to be very humid, so definitely plan accordingly. And it will feel a lot hotter than it actually is. Moving on to our local radar. Now this is a beautiful radar. It is clear skies, not a speck of rain in sight. So if you're planning on going outside, this would most definitely be your time to do so. And moving on, we're seeing a wide range of mostly low 90s. Now don't take low lightly. It's still in the 90s, but in the Athens area, it is 95. Very hot. Thank you.
Thanks, Peyton. Around the country, more than 100 million Americans are under heat alerts this week. The high temperatures can be dangerous, even deadly, if you aren't careful. But heat illnesses can be prevented. Mandy Gaither has more on how to stay safe.
High temperatures plus high humidity, a potentially dangerous combination.
Obviously, summer is the season for heat emergencies.
Heat illnesses range from mild to severe. The most common are heat rash, where your skin becomes irritated and red, heat cramps, painful spasms in your muscles, heat exhaustion, which is characterized by heavy sweating and a fast, weak pulse and rapid breathing, and heat stroke, which can be life-threatening.
That's when the body loses the ability to regulate its heat.
Symptoms of heat stroke include a quick, strong pulse, dizziness, fainting or loss of consciousness, slurred speech and altered mental state, nausea, and dry, red-hot skin. If a person has these symptoms, call 911 immediately. Don't wait to help them, says Dr. Thomas Waters with Cleveland Clinic.
The amount of damage, can be worse the longer the person is overheated. So you want to start cooling someone as soon as you identify that there's a heat stroke problem. Coating them with water to allowing that to evaporate and dissipate heat, but also ice packs are good. You can apply them to the groin, the armpits, those type of areas to help cool someone off.
If you're going to be out in high temperatures, take frequent breaks. Drink water every 15 minutes, even if you're not thirsty. Wear a hat and loose, lightweight, light-colored clothing. Avoid alcohol and caffeine, and lessen the intensity of your workload or workout. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Cleveland Clinic says people 65 and older are at a high risk of heat illness, even if they're not exercising. Experts suggest checking in on them twice a day when temperatures are high.
All of Yellowstone National Park entrances are closed off due to the recent severe weather occurring on a national scale. Over 10,000 visitors now fled the park, and officials are uncertain when the park may reopen as they assess damage from record-breaking floodwaters. Meredith Wood has more on the extreme conditions.
It's just going.
Oh, you can see. There it goes.
Entire buildings caving in, rushing water swallowing them whole.
That is insane. Holy
A statewide disaster has now been declared in Montana. The Yellowstone River has swollen to historic levels, the highest seen in more than 100 years, leading to catastrophic flooding across the region that spans the Yellowstone National Park and the Montana-Wyoming border. Relentless rains and rapid snow melt equaling up to 2 to 3 months worth of precipitation have saturated the park in only 3 days. And from the upper Midwest to the mid-Atlantic, nature's fury being felt in the form of violent storms.
I heard the thunderclap. It was like boom.
We just heard people screaming, saying that the roof was off.
On the heels of those violent storms comes sweltering, record-setting heat in some of those same regions. For hundreds of thousands now without power across multiple states, it's a situation that could turn deadly if electricity isn't restored quickly.
With temperatures anywhere between 105 with heat index going up to 110 degrees. The focus really is on getting the electricity back and making sure that we can provide cooling to our most vulnerable populations.
I'm Meredith Wood reporting.
Meigs County was under a flood warning until 11 a.m. this morning. No other flood warnings have been issued at this time. Coming up on Newswatch, President Joe Biden faces criticism for a planned trip to Saudi Arabia. And American families may finally have access to baby formula again. These stories and more when Newswatch returns.
The Mona Lisa is simply the most important single painting in the world.
She had been taken, she had been kidnapped.
And it's amazing to think that for 2 full years more, it was gone. For 2 years, it was really gone.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
These icebergs are amazing.
Journey to the icy ends of the Earth.
It just looks like Mars.
Where the secrets of the past.
We're on a beach.
We're on a beach 3 million years ago.
Hold the clues to our future.
This place is so amazing.
This is the stuff that gives us a glimpse into a past warmer world.
Humans are geology. We are impacting this planet.
Polar Extremes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is the opportunity to share my story.
To be here was a huge surprise. We want to fall in love with your recipes.
I am ready, I'm excited, I'm gonna do it.
I'm so excited to be competing for one of my recipes to become a tradition for other people.
This is a dish that my dad taught me. It's the flavors of home.
Welcome to the Great American Recipe.
The Great American Recipe, a new cooking competition coming this June to PBS and the PBS app.
We are trying to really get people to connect beyond their experiences. This is about working with someone that you don't know.
I started thinking about a monument to the end of racism. How would a mural work in those same terms?
I could reach a mass of people with art.
Thursday at 10 on WOUB.
Former Vice President Mike Pence is visiting Cincinnati for a meeting with members from Ohio's natural gas and oil industry. Cleveland.com reports Pence will be joined by Governor Mike DeWine tomorrow to discuss the importance of domestically produced fossil fuels. It will be a closed discussion organized by a new political group founded by the former VP. The meeting is hosted by the Ohio Oil and Gas Energy Education Program. The Ohio Supreme Court is deciding whether those providing mental health services are immune from the lawsuits if their patients kill or harm themselves. Cincinnati Enquirer reports this case comes from Southwest Ohio, where Bonita Stewart filed a lawsuit after her 30-year-old son, Justin, committed suicide at the Warren County Jail. Her son had been arrested for not complying with mental health treatment, a condition of his probation. The lawsuit, filed against the county and its jail service provider, claimed that the jail failed to properly supervise Justin and provide him mental health care despite him clearly needing it. The court is still in ongoing arguments, and a decision most likely will not be made for 4 to 6 months.
Ohio University is on track for a record-high freshman class this fall. University officials say over 4,600 applicants have confirmed their plan to attend. Administrators presented the enrollment numbers during Monday's Board of Trustees meeting. This could be the largest incoming freshman class since at least 1970. However, this number is subject to change if some decide not to come to OU.
We would, in some years, lose about 100 or so of those students, sometimes 150 from this point forward, and then we'll count them, of course, at census, which is about 2 weeks after the start.
The board also heard some other good news. University officials now expect to end the year with a nearly $34 million surplus. More than $25 million of that comes from the federal COVID relief funds. In the budget approved last year, the university was projecting a nearly $10 million deficit for this fiscal year, which ends June 30th. The chief medical advisor to President Biden, Dr. Anthony Fauci, tests positive for COVID-19. The NIH announced Fauci, the administration's leader for the COVID response, tested positive today for COVID on a rapid antigen test. The 81-year-old director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases is fully vaccinated and has been boosted twice. Fauci is reported to have mild symptoms and will isolate and work from home for the time being. The institute says he has not had close contact with the president or any other senior officials.
Critics are questioning President Joe Biden's plans to travel to Saudi Arabia next month. But the Biden administration says oil isn't the main reason for the visit. Amy Kiley has more on the gas prices versus human rights discussion.
The White House says President Joe Biden's plan to visit Saudi Arabia next month isn't about asking the Saudis to increase oil production. Even some Democrats say they don't buy that.
We're experiencing a huge inflationary spiral in the price of oil. We need Saudi Arabia to produce more of it.
The Pentagon says the expected bilateral talks are just part of a trip that includes a regional summit. But it's hard to overlook the fact that Saudi Arabia is one of the world's biggest oil producers and a member of OPEC. The war in Yemen is one reason the visit is controversial. It's been called the world's largest humanitarian crisis and a proxy war between Saudi Arabia and Iran.
I hope that what comes with it are some real concessions about what's hashing in Yemen.
Another issue is that the Saudi crown prince has been linked to the murder of a Washington Post columnist. Here's Biden in 2019.
Khashoggi was in fact murdered and dismembered, and I believe in the order of the crown prince.
Democratic Senator Tim Kaine of Virginia says of the journalist, quote, his bloodstain has not been cleansed. The Senate's number 2 Democrat says he has concerns about Biden's trip, but
he has a tough job dealing with gasoline prices. Saudi Arabia is a major player, full stop.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and others are backing Biden.
The president's not kissing the ring of any world leader.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
A few Republicans are weighing in too. Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy says Biden should try whatever it takes to lower the price of oil. South Dakota Senator John Thune says he's concerned about the trip and called on Biden to focus on American energy. The Abbott nutrition plant is reopening after being shut down due to health concerns. Many households are suffering from this closing as a baby formula shortage has affected families across the U.S. Tomorrow, the Biden administration plans to receive more than 44,000 pounds of Nestle baby formula products. The supply will be made available through a pipeline to serve health facilities, but it's still expected to take a few weeks before store shelves are restocked.
Google has suspended an engineer who claims one of its AI systems has gained consciousness. The unreleased artificial intelligence system named Lambda, or Language Model for Dialogue Applications, can write and answer questions in ways that seem human. One expert claims Lambda a glorified version of an autocomplete software. The engineer Blake Lemoine reportedly told the Washington Post he'd give Google evidence that Lambda was sentient. In a statement, Google said it reviewed Lemoine's concerns and told him the evidence did not support his claim. The Post later reported that Lemoine was put on administrative leave for violating the company's confidentiality policy. Summer learning events return to Vinton County. That story still ahead.
We've been experiencing high temperatures today, but will it continue throughout the week? Find out in my full forecast.
That's crazy.
On Finding Your Roots, actor Sterling K. Brown.
These are people that I've never heard of.
Comedian Sashir Zameda.
People are like, what's your makeup? Who are your people?
And musician John Baptiste.
Oregon. I thought we were from the South.
Ancestry.
Wow, you found my family, dude.
Lost to Slavery and Jim Crow.
That's a lot to process.
Hits home.
I'm gonna cry.
Finding Your Roots.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
This is one of the most biodiverse places in the world, Florida. But powerful forces are threatening the state's wild creatures and iconic landscapes.
If Florida lost the reef tract completely, it's likely that we would see a place like Florida Keys completely washed away.
The war that we're fighting is bigger than the battle that we're winning.
Can Florida continue to weather the growing storm?
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
These icebergs are amazing.
Journey to the icy ends of the Earth.
It just looks like Mars.
Where the secrets of the past.
We're on a beach.
We're on a beach 3 million years ago.
Hold the clues to our future.
This place is so amazing.
This is the stuff that gives us a glimpse into a past warmer world.
Humans are geology. We are impacting this planet.
Polar Extremes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
The Mona Lisa is simply the most important single painting in the world.
She had been taken, she'd been kidnapped.
And it's amazing to think that for 2 full years, more, it was gone. For 2 years, it was really gone.
Thursday at 9 on WOUB.
Welcome back. I'm your weather forecaster, Peyton Simchek. Now looking here in the Meigs County area, there is a flood warning. So if you're in that area, definitely take precaution. And looking in the Athens area, we do have an excessive heat warning. So if you're planning on going outside, definitely plan ahead. Moving on to the weather in Athens today, we have a temperature high of 96 degrees, and that is exceedingly higher than we've been used to recently. And we have a temperature low of 74, which seems like a big drop, but it is higher than the average low, and it is mostly sunny. Moving on to the local radar, it is a beautiful radar, mostly clear skies, in fact, all clear skies in the Athens area. And moving on to the regional radar, in the Ohio area, we barely see any clouds coming in and out. So if you want to go outside, this would be your chance to do so. And moving on to the weather in Athens tonight, we're looking at an overnight low of 74 degrees, which is still nice and pleasant. So if you want to go outside, again, now is the chance, and it is mostly clear. Moving on to the weather in Athens tomorrow, we're looking at another day of 96-degree weather and a temperature low of 69, but we do have a 30% chance of thunderstorms, so definitely think about that and plan ahead if you're planning on going outside. And moving on, we have clear skies again, but there is a chance of 30% chance of thunderstorms. And for our 7-day outlook tomorrow, again, we do have a 30% chance of thunderstorms, so definitely plan ahead for that. And a high of 96, so we could be seeing some muggy weather and a low of 69. Friday, we have a slightly less chance of thunderstorms. We have 20% and a high of 90 and a low of 59. Saturday might be the best day out of the week. It's sunny and it's 78 high, 51 lowest degree. And Sunday, we are partly sunny, a high of 80, a low of 58. Monday, we're mostly cloudy, but it will be 86 and a low of 67. And Tuesday, we are partly sunny and a high of 95. So that'll be the hottest day next week, a low of 71, and Wednesday will be 95. Thank you.
Thanks, Peyton. A library in Vinton County is able to host summer programs once again. They have been halted the past 2 years due to the pandemic. Newswatch reporter Jacob Mata has more on the story.
Thanks, Aiden. The Herbert Wesco Memorial Library in Vinton County set out to make kids' summers a little more fun post-pandemic. Today, they held a program for children with Kaylin Callender, a naturalist from Lake Hope State Park.
Oh, that's much better.
It's been a couple of years since these sounds have filled the Vinton County Library during the summer.
So today, having the 40-some here in the building was super excited because it's been like 2 years, 3 years since we've had that going on. So
the kids are here as part of the library's summer programs aimed at young kids. It's the first one for the library since the pandemic started. Today's lessons, Ocean of Possibility, is more about
the lakes here in the county
than oceans, something Lake Hope naturalist Caitlin Callender knows something about.
Raising their hand and thinks they know what a box turtle likes to eat.
We were really focusing more on the animals that you could see in the lake and around the lake.
Callender brought plenty for the kids to see and touch, from animals including a box turtle and sunfish to different animal pelts. She also wanted to encourage the kids to get outside and enjoy their local parks.
You can fish, there's archery programs, there's tons of biking and hiking trails, there's tons of history. It's just so many things to do right in one spot. Everybody's bound to find something that they are going to love there.
The program taught the kids something new and also brought them some joy along the way. Reporting for Newswatch, I'm Jacob Mata in MacArthur. The Vinton County Library will host 3 more Oceans of Possibility events throughout the summer. They are on Friday, June 24th, Friday, July 8th, and Saturday, July 16th.
Coming up in sports, the Copperheads look to add to the win column. I'll have more on last night's game and what lies ahead when Newswatch returns. And be sure to stay tuned to WOUB, as here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
These icebergs are amazing.
Journey to the icy ends of the Earth,
It just looks like Mars.
where the secrets of the past
We're on a beach.
We're on a beach 3 million years ago.
hold the clues to our future.
This place is so amazing.
This is the stuff that gives us a glimpse into a past warmer world.
Humans are geology. We are impacting this planet.
Polar extremes on Nova.
Wednesday at 9 on WOUB.
This is the moment that we've all been waiting for. This is the opportunity to share my story.
To be here was a huge surprise. We want to fall in love with your recipes.
I am ready. I'm excited. I'm going to do it.
I'm so excited to be competing for one of my recipes to become a tradition for other people.
This is the dish that my dad taught me. It's the flavors of home. Welcome to the Great American Recipe.
The Great American Recipe, a new cooking competition coming this June to PBS and the PBS app.
This is one of the most biodiverse places in the world, Florida. But powerful forces are threatening the state's wild creatures and iconic landscapes.
If Florida lost the reef tract completely, it's likely that we would see a place like Florida Keys completely washed away.
The war that we're fighting is bigger than the battle that we're winning.
Can Florida continue to weather the growing storm?
Wednesday at 8 on WOUB.
We are trying to really get people to connect beyond their experiences. This is about working with someone that you don't know.
I started thinking about a monument to the end of racism. How would a mural work in those same terms?
I could reach a mass of people with art.
Thursday at 10 on WOUB.
The Copperheads are looking to stay in the win column against the Xenia Scouts after Monday night's game was suspended due to rain. The Copperheads saw themselves down early and for most of the game, being in a 3-0 hole heading into the 6th inning. They were able to jump on top 4-3 at the top of the 6th and extended that lead 5-3 in the 7th off an RBI triple from Clayton Hodges. The Scouts tied the game at 5 heading into the 9th, but the Copperheads would not go down without a fight. Kyle Ratliff would send a 3-run bomb to deep center field to give the Copperheads the go-ahead and ultimately win the game 8-5. And with this win, the Copperheads moved to 4-2 on the year and now are currently tied for the 2nd spot of the Great Lakes Summer Collegiate League South Division. The Copperheads share this spot with the Licking County Settlers, who they fell to 11-1 earlier this month. The team that holds the 1 spot in the division, the Cincinnati Steam. This team defeated the Copperheads earlier in the year 15-8. And the Copperheads look to build on their 2-game win streak tonight against the Grand Lake Mariners. Opening pitch is set for 7:05. Athletes at Ohio University continue to excel academically. This success is shown through the latest NCAA academic progress rate. OU recorded a department-wide single-year academic progress rate of 982. The rate is a real-time measure of eligibility, retention, and graduation of student athletes competing on an NCAA Division I athletic team. This is the 6th year in a row the department has scored 980 or better. Changes are coming to Ohio high school basketball divisions for the upcoming season. Locally, one of the biggest changes comes from the Tri-Valley Conference for the boys. The Alexander Spartans move up to Division II. The Spartans are now in the same division as the Athens Bulldogs, increasing the chances that these conference rivals could see each other in the postseason. The River Valley Raiders boys basketball team is also moving up to Division II. The Ohio High School Athletic Association announced new division changes for winter sports yesterday. And heading back to the Diamond, the Cleveland Guardians hit the road for the beginning of a 9-game road trip. Last night, they opened a 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Jose Ramirez opened the scoring with a 2-run RBI single in the 3rd inning. The Rockies battled back but found themselves down 3-1 heading into the 7th. Charlie Blackmon would tie the game in the 7th with a 2-run homer to center. Extra innings would be needed to decide this game, and Ramirez would deliver again. This time, a go-ahead RBI double to give the Guardians the lead and the win 4-3. And speaking of extra baseball, the Cincinnati Reds needed 3 extra innings to add to their win streak. The Reds and the Diamondbacks were in an old-fashioned pitcher's duel with both starting pitchers combining for 19 strikeouts. The game would be scoreless after 9, but the scoring would open up in extras as TJ Friedel would get the Reds on the board with an RBI double. The Diamondbacks would exchange punches through the 10th and the 11th, but it would be Albert Amora Jr. who would give the Reds the go-ahead and Jonathan India to put the nail in the coffin in the 12th. So guys, the Reds had an incredibly exciting extra innings victory.
Yeah, Jack, you know how Cincinnati sports teams love to play with their team's heartstrings, but they pulled through, maybe thanks to having Jonathan India back in the lineup.
Yeah, and not only did the Reds win in extras, but the Guardians, they also had a tremendous extra innings win thanks to Jose Ramirez.
Yeah, Jack, Jose Ramirez has been a hero, and hey, he might even win the AL MVP candidate. This week, designer Alejandro Nunez Vicente showcased his chaise lounge airplane seat concept at the 2022 Aircraft Interiors Expo in Germany. The prototype features a double-decker style seating arrangement for the airplanes. Flyers would access the top level using 2 ladder-like steps. Nunez Vicente says his frustration with the current lack of legroom gave him this idea. He believes this design offers plenty of legroom with a footrest for added comfort. Nunez Vicente admits passengers, especially those at the top level, cannot stand upright in the seats, but he argues many travelers already cannot stand when flying economy. The designer had to remove overhead cabins to create the top level. Instead, he says there's space between the levels for travelers to store luggage.
In Athens tonight, we're looking at an overnight low of 74 degrees, and it will be mostly clear, so keep that in mind if you'd like to go outside. And looking at Athens tomorrow, we are looking at a high of 96 and a 30% chance of thunderstorms with a low of 69 degrees. And for Friday, we're looking at a slightly less chance of thunderstorms, 20% and 90 degrees and a low of 59. Thank you.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. I'm Maria Manassi.
And for Peyton Simchek, Jack Demler, and Jacob Mata, I'm Aiden Crowley. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org. Have a great night.
Support comes from Dean Heating and Cooling, keeping homes cool all summer with Tempstar. Dean Heating and Cooling provides HVAC service and installation in the Athens